All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for taking a quick look at this. I'm currently looking at chapter two, and it's question seven within the tech lab. It has to do with the section where you're going to be using Tableau Prep. And I gotten a handful of questions about this one because what it is, some of the stuff has changed. And because it's changed, it doesn't necessarily line up with what the instructions say. Now, the instructions of the book, this is the newest version of the book. I thought that maybe it would all be updated to match. It's a little bit off. So we're just going to quickly run through it and just this one section. And hopefully, if you're stuck on it, this will help. So you should be seeing my Tableau Prep Builder screen. So I'm going to click my arrow, click my plus sign for connections. I'm going to connect to Excel. And it should already, yeah, it's already in our where I have the file at. Now, a couple things. One, if the file is in still in a zip folder, you have to take it out. So I've got it taken out, and I've got it just in a folder on my computer. That's the other key, is it has to be on your computer. You can't have it like on your iCloud or Google Drive or whatever. It has to be on your computer in order for it to connect. So I'm going to double click it, and it should think for a second, and then it should pop up here for us. It's a pretty big file, so it takes it a minute. It's a pretty big file. All right, so I'm looking over here at the directions. It says first we need to fix the column headers and remove them on the data. So to try to automatically fix the field names, I'm going to come over and I'm going to click on the use data interpreter, and it's going to run here for a minute, and we'll see how long it takes it to try and fix the field names. You can see here 146 fields. That means that um, each each column is a field, and so we've got 146 columns in this file basically. And so what the data interpreter is doing is going through and looking at all 146 rows and trying or columns and trying to determine like what the headers and stuff are supposed to be. Honestly, this usually works. Sometimes it fails. So let's give it a minute here and see what happens. Yeah, these are all the field names here. And you see how I just give them all these F references. And that's what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to give us actual headers. All right, did it work? Yeah. All right, so now you can see here we've got loan amount, funded amount, IMV, investment or something, term, interest rate. Okay. So it looks like it probably pulled them all over. And if I click the field list, yeah, it looks like we now have names instead of all those, F1, F2, whatever. So that's the first step. Second step, there are a few ways to remove unwanted fields. You can hover over each field and right click the X icon that appears on the right side and choose remove field. Edit your field list to the to include the fields below. It says hint, select the first field and then scroll down to the bottom of the list. Hold the shift key and the last field highlight, and it'll highlight everything. Right click and choose remove field to remove them all, then go back and right click the fields in the list and choose include field. So basically what it's saying is take everything off and then add back the ones that we need. Yeah, you can do that whichever way you want. I can tell you that some of the stuff has changed. One of the things that's changed is like if I come over here and you can see this X, it says remove. That is how we're going to. That's one way that we can remove fields. You can also, I believe, yeah, you can I right clicked on the name and you can do remove field that way. So there's a couple different, and I think there's a third way also. Maybe up here, yeah, highlight it and click remove field up here. Um, but so we want to have the loan amount and the term. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the control key and I'm going to highlight multiple things here. So we want the term, we want the interest rate, we don't want installment, we do want the grade. Um, the next one is EMP length. So there's EMP length, um, home ownership, annual income, then issue D, okay, loan status, then down to title, zip code, address state, DTI, debt to income ratio, delinquent 2 years, earliest credit line, and then open ACC, open account is down here. Again, what I keep doing, I just keep pulling down the control key and selecting them, then laying off the control key so I can scroll. So we want open account, um, remove balance, or no, revolving balance. So take off that. So revolving balance, total count is that one, and then application type. Application type at at the bottom. Scroll past it 2 or 3 times now. Here, here, here. Still recording. I'm not sure what just happened to my Zoom. I apologize. Let me share the screen back. Um, what? Let's share the entire screen instead of just the Tableau prep. That way, hopefully, whatever happened won't happen again. Let's make sure. Yeah, it's still recording. So I've got all those things selected. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click this remove fields. And the reason I'm clicking that one is because I don't want to try and right click or do anything of that and run the risk of unclicking all those that I just went through. Now that I'm down to the last one, which was application type, I can now scroll. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom, hold down the shift key, and highlight all of those. And it should, let's try if I right click it, I can do hide fields or remove fields. And yeah, if I click just this, it's still just going to remove. Well, no, it did remove them all. Okay. So again, multiple ways to remove the fields, but now we should have everything that it wanted, and it's asking you to take a screenshot uh, now that you've done that. And like if I click here, like data preview, now you can see same deal. It's got the amounts and it's got all the fields that we don't want are all hidden. All right. So next we want to remove text values from numerical values and replace values so we can do calculations and summarize the data. These extraneous text values include months, less than one, NA, the plus sign, and years. Um, so what we want to do is Up here, this part up here at the top is in our, it's like our process flow. This section up here at the top, and this plus sign is whenever we want to add a next step. So we've got our data at this point here. So now we want to click the plus sign and we want to do add a clean step. And the clean step is going to be a step where we're going to instruct the program like how we want to clean up our data. And the reason we do these kinds of things is we're basically setting this up so that the next time if we were to get this same file with updated data, we could bring it in and we could run the same process and it would do all these steps for us. So I'm going to add a clean step. And now you can see we've got just the accounts that we want. And we've got a couple different views of it. Down here at the bottom, we've got a preview of the actual data. And here in the middle, you've got a preview of how it would show the data on a graph. And notice in the upper left-hand corner here, you have the type of field. And so what it's saying it wants us to do, let's see, in the input pane, you can further limit which fields you bring to the tab as well. Type. This includes the data type, link keys indicate simple values. Okay. All right, so there's what it is saying here in step number 9 is we now have an input step will appear in the top half of the space. So up here. And the details of that step are in the bottom of the workspace in the input pane. So that's the details that I was talking about down here. Every flow requires at least one input step at the beginning of the flow. All right. So in the input pane, you can further limit which fields you bring into the Tableau prep, as well as seeing about each field, including type, link keys, and sample values. So in the term pane, which is going to be our first one here, all right, it says term, and this is the pane. We are wanting to right-click the header or click the three dots and say clean and remove letters. Oh, no, up here, sorry. So term up here, I was at the bottom. Up here where it's summarizing them, we want to click the more options, clean, and we want to remove letters. Okay. So now what that's going to do is we had all these things that said 36 months and 60 months. Now it's just 36 and 60. So it took out the space and it took out the word months. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to change it to a number. And so up here where we have this ABC, we can just click on that. We can click number whole because these don't have decimals, so there's no point in choosing the decimal one. Okay. So that's step 11. All right. In the EMP length pane, we want to right click the header or click the three dots and click group values manual selection. So this is in the right here. We want to go down to group values and do manual selection. Okay. And then double click the less than 1 year in the list and type 0 to replace those values with 0. So I'm going to double click that. And I'm going to type 0, basically indicating that it's 0 years. So we're just overriding what it's called. And then also I'm going to hit enter. That should take us off. Okay, yeah, now it's changed to now 0. Now we also want to select, double click the NA in the list and type 0. So that should be Yeah, down at the bottom. So I'm going to double click it. So I think I about quadruple clicked it. I'm going to type a 0. If I hit tab instead of enter, it should also work. Again, there's different ways you can click to get off of stuff. Maybe that's not going to work, or maybe it is. Okay, now it's brought these up and lumped them in with that 0. And then while we're in the group values window, we could quickly replace all of the year values with single numbers. For example, 10 plus years becomes 10, or you can move to the next step to remove the extra characters and click done. So what it's saying is that we could go through and we could double click these, take out everything that's not just a number, and click off of it, and it would change it for us. If we don't do it that way, then we could do another clean step. So if I click done, it should think about it for a second. Now I can click the dots and I can go to clean, and I can go to, remove letters, and clean, remove letters, and then clean, remove all spaces. So clean, let's remove letters. And then let's do the same thing, clean, and remove all spaces, not just extra, but all spaces. So now we've got just numbers here. And we don't want the plus sign. I'm not sure why that didn't come out. If I change this from ABC to number, let's see. No, it's still there. No, there, that took the plus sign off. Oh no, that made it a null. So it didn't tell us to do this specifically, but I'm going to change it back. And I'm going to double click it. I'm backspace the plus, tab off of it. Let's think about it. And then after I'm done thinking about it, there it changed. Okay, it just takes it a second. And again, there's a lot of data in this file, so it takes it a minute. So now we can go up and we can change it from that to number whole. And instead of our 10 disappearing like it did before, it's now down at the bottom. Okay. And then finally click the data type. Yeah, okay, change in the flow plane, right click the clean one and choose rename, and name the step remove text. So I'm going to click that, rename, and call it, oh, I've got my caps lock soon, remove text. That's now the name of that step, because that's what it's doing, is it's going through and taking the text out of those couple columns. Now I want you to take a screenshot. Let's see. All right, so click the plus next to your remove text task and choose output. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click output. In the output pane, click browse, and then we're going to navigate to where we want to. So this is the outlook pane over here. I'm going to click browse, and it's defaulting to wanting it out to this repository that it sets up. I don't want that. I want, let's see, is this the right one? Yeah. So 322. So basically, I'm just going to have it drop it into this folder. Now, normally I would probably have a folder with a specific name on it, but I'm just going to have it drop the output here. And name it lab. Oh, what is it? 2-3 blending club transform dot hyper and click accept. Click the run flow. When it's finished processing, press done. And so that play sign is the run flow. I'm trying to remember, maybe 14 or 15 seconds, I think is all. Maybe longer, I don't. Let's take a longer than that. While that's doing, I'm going to scroll down over here and see if there's any other Tableau prep stuff. So I think that is it. Let me look at the last section. All right, this is back to Tableau Desktop. And what you're going to do is you will be bringing in the file that we just saved. They've already got a version of it saved out there that you can download. I would download the version from the McGraw-Hill, like from the instructions, just to make sure that you have it exactly as they expected it to be. And that looks like, yeah, this is pretty straightforward on what to do there. That should be it. Yeah. So, wow, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. Anyway, what it's going to do is whenever it's finally done running, is if I open this folder up and drag it over. Okay, if I drag it over and I open 322, what it's going to do is it should drop it into just this folder because that's where I told it to drop it. So I'm not sure how long it's going to take it to run. There's no point in us sitting here for another 2 or 3 minutes while it does its thing. But basically, it's going to show up in that the hyper file is going to show up in that folder where I just showed you, and it should be good to go. Again, if you have any other questions, anything moving forward, feel free to send them my way. If it takes something like if I need to go and explain something like this because it's a little challenging, I'll gladly do it. I'll record it, put it up there for you guys, and we'll be good to go. So again, don't hesitate to ask questions. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week. Try to stay warm, stay off the roads as best you can, and most importantly, stay safe at whatever you guys do. And that's it. That's all we're going to do. Thank you, and have a good one.